Hey guys, welcome back again from Tampa Bay. Today I've got a review of a 2014 Triumph Bonneville T100. This is an air-cooled inline twin, parallel twin, obviously a classic styled bike. Technically a 2-up, really built for 1-up as far as I'm concerned. Beautiful looking dual chrome pipes. Does have a full pillion seat and pegs though. Got some nice bluing on the pipes. This one has 90 miles on the clock. Little demo bike, but still really new. Beautiful looking paint scheme, I have to say. I love the black, red, and white combo. Got a speedo, we got a tach, digital odometer. Pretty comfortable. Small frame, as I expected. Not a negative thing. Big, heavy, Harley-like kickstand. Chunky feeling front end, not a lightweight. It's got fuel injection, nice smooth throttle response. Got our turn signals, bright indicator, horn, kill switch, start switch. No idea what this switch is, not going to press it right now. See how many speeds we have. First, second. Can't do it, gotta be moving. Alright. That's weird, the rubber on the shift peg rolls. So if you press down hard, your foot starts sliding forward. It's kind of weird. Let's see if I can find neutral, there we go. Easy enough neutral, a little bit of a clunk like cruiser style going into first. Let's give it a test ride. Very easy steering at low speed. Feel like I'm sitting right on front of the wheel, on top of the wheel rather. I like that. Oh, it just feels nice and tiny and light, flickable. Good enough front brake grab. I'm going to take it a little easy here. Actually, I'm going to pull over real quick because I need to adjust my mirrors. I neglected to do that and I can't see anything except my torso. It's got a nice little bit of torque. Down low. Here's a good spot. Very smooth engine. There's absolutely no vibration through the bars. Seat has what feels like a little rubber bubble that I'm sitting on. It's very strange. It's not like solid foam that I'm used to in a seat. It's actually very comfortable. Not crazy about the styling of the seat, but it's functioning, so I can't complain about that. Love the low speed handling. This thing just tips in. Feels like a feather. It's odd because the grips are very thick, very chunky like a Harley. The bars, you can tell, are very chunky. And the front end actual effort needed to start moving is up there. But once they do, it's no problem. So it's a 5-speed. At least I think that's what I counted. Wow, the mirrors actually aren't bad. They're better than average, I'll give them that. You can swing the whole arm out here. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Alright, now the guy said take a right at the light, get off 19 here, and I can have a little better road to try it on. He said maybe a little twisties, we'll see. I'm more interested in seeing how this does as a little fun city cruiser. This is obviously not something anyone's going to buy to carve through the canyons or even hit the freeway. And I'm actually in the market for a second bike to do just that myself, just have some fun around town with. So this might be one I'm going to consider. Transmission is very nice. It's just got a slight little snick to it. It's in the perfect position. I'm in 5th gear here, 25 miles an hour. No, that's a tach. 2,500 RPM, 45 miles an hour. I hate it when the tachs have 10, 20, 30, 40. I'd much rather have them say 1, 2, 3, 4. Just, you know, at quick glance, hey, this could go either way. There's no way this bike does 130. I know that's bull, but I would believe 90. So, I mean, that could very easily be a speedo too. Nice smooth acceleration. Obviously it's not kicking you in the pants, but it is getting you moving. Let me slow down here a bit. Okay, now I'm at 2,000 RPM in top gear, 35 miles an hour. Here's a full throttle roll on. Just a little bit of a rumble, not like a V-twin, but not like an inline four. It lets you know it's doing something. Let's drop down. That should be second. 4,000 RPM at 40. Definitely winds out on the top end. It's got most of its power down low, so it's something that you want to keep shifting. Yeah, it definitely has a lot more torque than horsepower. That's perfectly fine with me. That's what I would expect out of something with this kind of design. Now I'm just going to pretty much go straight in this road because I do not know where I am, and if I start going left and right, there's a chance I might go over my time limit. I only have a half an hour for this test drive, so I want to make sure I get it back in one piece and on time. Hardly any vibration at all, just sitting here idling. There's a little bit of frame shake, tiny bit I can feel through the bars. I mean, it's nothing that you can see obviously vibrating the mirrors, nothing like a cruiser, like a Harley or anything like that. It's on par, I'd say, with pretty much any Japanese made bike, period. I would imagine this engine is rubber mounted or it's just incredibly well balanced. I just feel the ticking. It's very quiet. I have to say the exhaust sound, very tame. It doesn't have a grunt or a growl. It just kind of goes purr. I would probably be putting different pipes on this if I had it, because I think it probably has a much nicer sound hiding inside. Now ergonomics, I'm 6'2", 250 pounds. I'm not going to obviously get a long-term feel for the seat, but just sitting out here, riding down the road, absolutely comfortable. I would not want, or I should say I would not need necessarily to put a custom seat on it. I'm not bottoming out. Suspension is pretty darn good. It's feeling a little stiff in the front, but the back end is very comfortable. I'm not feeling these big jittery bumps. It's not translating through to my butt. Peg position is excellent, even for me as a rather tall rider. I have a 32-inch inseam. I have very good leg placement. It has these pads built into the side of the tank. My legs, my knees go right into them. They're very comfy. It's not wide at all. This seat is extremely low and narrow. It feels more like a small sport bike seat than a big banana seat. It's weird. Just from the way this kind of cushion bubble has it built in, it feels like it's holding me in place even though it looks like it's a straight seat. I would imagine there's some kind of support underneath for each of the rider and passenger. It's not just a straight piece of foam is the point. Brakes feel great. I mean, obviously I'm not doing heavy hard braking here, but they feel exactly like my FJR, which has excellent brakes. I don't have to think about them. I would imagine these are not linked brakes. I'm using front and rear as I normally would. It doesn't have excessive nosedive. I don't feel any kind of vibration, and they don't feel weak. It has excellent feel for the lever itself. Clutch is short and light. Nobody's going to have a problem with this clutch pull. It has maybe an inch of pull, and the effort is almost nothing. Engagement zone, pretty darn easy. Most of the clutch engagement is at the last little tiny sliver. I'm moving the handle about halfway here and it's doing absolutely nothing. It feels like cable slack. I bet if you tighten that cable up, that would completely go away. But you know, I actually like it the way it is, because if you tighten that up, your clutch engagement would be about a half an inch. This at least gives you a little bit of grip on your hands. It's comfortable. That's the point. Nobody's going to have an issue with it. Let's drop down to third. Decent throttle response. It's smooth. It's not sharp. It does have that initial little torque kick, but then it very quickly winds out as that RPM gets about 4,500 or above. Let's try the signals out here. I guess I'll go right and I'll come back down to this road here. Let's see, I'm at, well, the end. I'm at the shopping center, so I'll just go right here and come back down to the shopping center. And I stalled it. See what I mean about that engagement zone? I am probably not in first. That was the problem. I was still in third. That's what I get for talking too much. Cancel the turn signals. It's got a different kind of little button. Normally, I'm used to the Japanese style controls where it's got the knob, or not the knob, the built-in lever nib thingy, and the whole thing moves and the whole thing pushes in. This has a separate button on the center here. Works just fine. It's got a tactile click, so you know when you pressed it. I like that. Works fine. I am used to a gear indicator. Absolutely no fault of the bike though. That's just me riding with a bike with one for so long. And it's kind of a modern feature. I don't expect it on any kind of classic bike, and it's not needed. A lot of people make that comment when I complain about other bikes not implementing the gear indicator correctly, where sometimes it'll blank out or not be accurate, and they say, well, you don't need one. Well, I completely agree with that. You don't need one, but if you're going to put one on a bike, make it work. That was my only point. So let's see what this winds out as power-wise. You know what? In second gear, it pulls very cleanly and very linearly all the way to redline. It doesn't feel like it's going to top out and wind out of power. I want to turn around and do it first. Very good turning. I would have scraped the pegs on a lot of other bikes with that turn. Specifically, I'm thinking about the Yamaha Bolt. I test rode that. I lost the video so you guys didn't see it, but I did test ride it, and it had a shockingly lack of lean angle. For a bike that is supposed to be fairly sporty but classic, that thing does not want to turn worth a crap. This one does. I'll do that again. That's great. Very, very light feeling. Very controllable. Excellent low speed handling. As soon as you start moving, I mean 1 mile an hour, the front end feels completely different. If it's standing still, it feels heavy. But literally, as soon as you start moving, it completely changes the way it acts. Great steering. Okay, here's full throttle in first. No, that pulls right up to redline. It definitely has a little more oomph right off the line, but it pulls right up to redline. Man, I'll tell you what, if this had a better exhaust, I think I would have a big blank-eating grin on my face right now. I'm really surprised about the seat. Just looking at it, I would never have thought it was this kind of comfort and support. They really did a good job of hiding whatever they built into the seat. I dig it. Let's give it another run here. Want to race? I like it. Now see, this one, this may actually, as far as the bike I'm looking to buy as a second bike, might be a little too much. This has got some power. I have no doubt that this is a very easy triple-digit bike without any thought. This is something that you could very easily take on the freeway without any problem. You could take a passenger, you could probably put some bags on it, and this will eat it up all day long. This is not a very low-power, basic entry bike. This actually has some balls. As far as acceleration and power, this is right on par with the Harley Sportster 883 that I had. In fact, I think this might be faster because that Harley did run out of steam at the upper RPMs. This one does not. This one gives you a little bit extra punch till about 4,000, but it continues from there all the way to 8, just the same. Definitely dig it. Very smooth, very refined. It feels Japanese. That's the best compliment I can give it. It does not feel like a non-Japanese bike. It has that level of refinement. Suspension's working great. I feel the bumps. I mean, you can kind of hear them jarring me in my voice, but it's affecting the bike as a whole. It's not bottoming out the suspension. I'm not feeling it like that. It's not going through the frame. It's just bouncing the bike a little bit. I don't know if this has any kind of adjustable suspension, but obviously it's probably not tuned for a 250-pound rider. I'm sure that if it is adjustable, it could be set a little bit better for my weight, but I'm just glad that it has the travel needed to handle. That's the most important part. If the bike doesn't have the physical travel, it doesn't matter how well it can be tuned. If you bottom out, you're going to bottom out. This is absolutely fine. I see these gauges are made by VDO. That explains why they look so nice. Very easy to read. Now that I obviously know which is the tach and speedometer, no problem with it whatsoever. Neutral light's very readable in sunlight here. So is that digital odometer. Sometimes those LCD displays get really washed out in the sun. This does not have that problem whatsoever. Mirrors have absolutely no shake. They're crystal clear. I would probably extend these out, put on different bars, get them out just another couple inches, and then I could see behind myself a lot better. So now I'm in fifth. I'm going to roll on here. It's still climbing. I mean, it's just riding a wave of torque. Very, very smooth. Don't even have to think about it. The engine is just purring along. I can hear the exhaust. All it's doing is changing tone. When I give it full throttle or let off, there's absolutely no change in the exhaust. That's what I mean by if you put some other silencers on here, I think it would really amp it up as far as the fun factor. I like when I get on it, I want to hear that rumble. I want to hear the pop and the concussion like so many other bikes have. This, there's absolutely no change. It just increases torque and you just start to slowly go faster. It feels very electric. That's a lot like I described my FJR. When you're in top gear and you just hit the gas, it just goes. It just goes like an electric motor, and that's exactly what this guy is doing here. Love the way it feels. It is very comfortable for me. I could definitely ride this all day. The bar reach is perfect. Obviously you can change that to some degree too. Has just enough rake back where my hands fall exactly in the position. They are on the wide side. I do feel like it's a sit up and beg position, and my arms are spread apart a little bit more than some other bikes I've ridden. And that might also have to do with the fact that I'm fairly close to the bars. But it really works. When I'm going here and the wind is pushing against me, obviously there's no cowl and there's no windshield, it stretches me back just enough where my arms are in the perfect position. It's very comfortable. Dead solid. Once you get it below about 3,000 RPM, it does have that little bit of a grunt. You can feel it more than you can hear it. It's got that thump going on. But here past 3,500, it smooths out completely, and now it's just like a low humming sewing machine. I dig it. Alright, so I'm gonna zip right back here. It's just to the left of this light. Turn this guy back in. I was excited to try this. I'm glad I did. Can't say yet if it's going to be the one I buy, but I'm glad I tried it. It was on my list for sure. I don't see anything wrong with it. I really don't. If I bought it, I would be putting different exhaust on it, but that's just aesthetics. I do not have a problem with the way it rides or the way it fits, the way it handles. It is a fantastic little bike. Especially for the price. They're not expensive considering what it is. Especially if you're looking for a classically styled bike. There's just no doubt about it. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more reviews. Check out the site, TwoWheelObsession.com. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.